welcome back to the Boxing Club podcast. I am yours truly, Big Chubbs, alongside with my fellow Potters, Mr. El Guapo.
Here we are again.
Eric E. Slick, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Lou Almighty, what's up, dog?
What's up, baby?
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Real good.
Chilling.
How's
Chilling.
How's everybody's weekend so far?
So far, so good. After this, I have a date.
Ooh.
What's his name?
Don't get jealous. It's not you.
Damn.
So what's going on in this boxing world, guys? There's a lot of drama this week. Where do you guys want to start?
Well, you can start anywhere. There's a lot of good drama this week.
You got-
That's what I love about boxing. Drama's always going to be there.
You got Mayweather being, what was it? He's on the belt now, the WBC belt, right?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. As he should be.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely earned it, man.
Yeah, for sure. I want to start off, to be honest with you, this little. Remember I called you last night?
Right.
After Ryan Garcia's fight, he thanked God, and then he jumped on Twitter, and then he started talking about God. I thank God and praising God, right? So Twitter unverified him.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that as a problem. I mean, where Twitter can actually do that, to take you off because for saying praise to God and Jesus Christ.
Right.
Now, that's, for an example, I remember back in the day, this is back in the 60s, where this great band came out. That was the Beatles, and British band. And they came out, and I remember they were interviewed, and the interview guy says, "Wow, you guys are really popular." And John Lennon said, "We're so popular, we're more popular than Jesus Christ."
Oh wow.
Now,
I never knew that.
yeah, the day he said that, everybody went against them. Their record sales dropped. Mm-hmm. Nobody was buying their records. Nobody wanted to listen to the Beatles because they said, we're more popular than Jesus Christ.
Right.
Then when they interviewed them again, John Lennon says, "Look, I'm not saying we're better than Jesus Christ, but you guys worship yourselves more than Jesus Christ." Saying, we're not more popular, but you're making us more popular than Jesus Christ. So people really found that offensive. And now we're hearing about Ryan by saying that, again, Twitter, decides to take freedom of speech away.
Right. Is it freedom of speech, or is it just religion in general? Or
Well, you know what? It is a freedom of speech no matter how you look at it. If you were to say, "Hey, I like you," well, that's offensive, to someone. And then it really, again, I understand if Twitter did it, if it was a criminal crime, meaning I'm 40 years old and I like little kids. Well, you should be shut down. That's a criminal crime being done.
Yeah.
But saying, praise to God for what I'm doing, oh, we have to take you down? That's an insult to itself.
Is that a verified story? They took him down because he praised God?
Ryan Day came up.
What?
I hope people boycott Twitter on
that's
that.
not the first time Twitter unverifies people.
Right.
They shut down the president.
They shut down the president.
Right.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
So,
God damn,
like,
dude.
what do you? I don't want to get too religion into this. We are a boxing podcast,
Right.
But at the same time, like every fighter, after their fight, after they win a championship, it's like, oh, I want to thank God.
Well, they usually thank two people, first and foremost. Usually, number one, they thank God, and number two, they thank Al Heyman.
Right. And it's true. And it's really true. So, but I mean, if Twitter feels like they're above that, they say, well, here's what you can say and cannot say.
Right.
And again, it's not a criminal crime to say it.
I want to read up on that. I feel like there's something more to
That happened yesterday.
It happened yesterday. I agree with what you were saying, and I was looking into it. And, I go, was it something that he said otherwise? Like I said, did he criminalize himself by saying, I like little boys, for that matter? You should be shut down.
No, and then also, Ellie Setback uploaded another video talking about how he commented on, hey, you keep saying what you want to say, and he got blocked from Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people should just boycott Twitter, Facebook is still around, Instagram's still around, until they get really cocky on themselves.
Yeah, we don't do Twitter, so fuck Twitter.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? I don't do Twitter.
I have a Twitter account, and I
never
don't
liked
use it.
You know what I mean? But I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not a religious person. but I do believe in God, and I don't think people should be boycotted or unverified, or it's a figure of speech, and that's how we were raised. So I don't know. I just wanted to get your guys' opinion about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone should be entitled to their own beliefs, whether it's Jesus or whoever it may be. Whoever it may be, you're entitled to your own. But at the same time, you got to understand. I think Twitter and I think most social media platforms are still privately owned.
Right.
So they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I get it. But you're on a social media. You're on a different type of platform. Why are you gonna try to, you talked about, you can't talk about God on our platform. Like, that's, I don't know, to me that shit ain't right. If you're gonna have a platform for people's freedom of speech, let them do that.
If you're allowed to swear on it,
You do whatever you want.
do what you
Like,
want
come
with
on,
it.
girls on Twitter show ass and titties all day long.
Right.
So why is ass and titties okay?
Because it sells, baby.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. You know what I mean? But
No, I get it. You should be able to.
I mean, you
like
can do that.
also
You can talk about
the
Jesus.
state of California, they're trying to pass a law where they're trying to ban the Bible.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I don't see how
Yeah.
that's even
Really?
possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
That's-
read about that. I read about it. It came out in the news and everything. And I was like, why? How is that possible? Like,
Ban the Bible?
Ban the Bible.
I think you
Ban-
can.
It's like every day. Let's see what else we can cut out in someone's life. In where the government and
You're just
everyone
trying
wants
to
to take
control
full control of
everything.
you. And
We're already
that's
there.
just ridiculous.
What's up?
We're already there.
Yeah, it's,
You're only as free as a dog is in his backyard.
that's true.
Think about it.
That's true.
Think about it. You pay taxes, and let's get off the topic because we got to get back to boxing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You pay taxes. You buy your car, pay taxes. You have to pay registration and taxes on top of that to drive it. You have to pay for your driver's license and register to drive on the road for your own car, whether you own it or not. Doesn't matter what you do. Your phone, I guarantee, if they really wanted to, they know exactly where you're at and what you're saying and what.
Keep in
you're
mind,
doing.
you have to have insurance too.
And insurance. And no, it's layers upon layers upon layers. And people talk about freedom. We haven't been free in a long time. Like really, really free. That's just my opinion. I don't want to get blocked from Twitter, so let's jump the.
yeah, I
let's
don't got
jump
Twitter,
topic.
so fuck Twitter. I don't care. Anyways, back to boxing. Speaking of Ryan Garcia, what was it? Wednesday, he tweeted, or not tweeted. I saw it on Instagram. He doesn't want to fight Tank Davis.
Of course he doesn't. What I say?
dude,
What I
you-
say
all
last
that
year?
comment,
Of course not.
Is he? Is he ducking? Is he ducking?
He's definitely
is he
ducking.
scared?
Dude,
Is
Well,
he-
to be honest with you, if you call out somebody
You better
and you
back it up.
backpedal,
you look like a little bit.
that's ducking. Does that make sense? In other words, his advisors probably told him, we're not ready for this fight yet."
And the way he said it, like he had bigger names.
Who?
Pacquiao?
Who could he be?
Exactly.
He's not fighting Pacquiao.
So- He's
not
There's
gonna fight
no
anyone.
way.
I think that's the only bigger name out there.
No,
that-
no,
Is it
no. There's
gonna
no
be him?
bigger names.
What, Lopez?
There's
I don't
Lopez.
think Lopez will fight him though.
You know, Ryan is working his way up, and he's looking good, but he's still building himself up.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, he's very marketable. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got the looks, he's got the followers, he's undefeated. But he's still learning. He's still a kid.
Yeah, he's
He's
still-
still learning.
Who can he possibly fight?
Well,
that-
I mean,
That's bigger than Davis?
opportunities, they're still out there. He's still finding his way. To be honest, he doesn't have that many fights.
Right.
Yeah, he has, what, like 22 fights?
That's
22?
not a lot of fights for a
Yeah,
fighter.
it's what, 19 knockouts?
Yeah, so, I mean,
And
his
this-
record's good.
And this last fight was his first real notable fight as
Right.
far as
So, and
you know,
you got-
everyone looks at the knockouts. Oh, he's knocking everyone out. He's supposed to knock everyone out. He's supposed to knock every one of those prior opponents out.
Right.
But Luke Campbell was his first real test, I believe.
And again, he looked good from a
And he
knockdown. That was a solid punch.
Yeah, you gotta give him that.
He didn't shy away from it. He
he
came
got
back to
up like
fight.
nothing
A lot of
happened.
guys when they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a hard hit," backpedal,
Yeah.
run away. No, he came back like, "Okay, you got me. All right, now let me get up." He showed what a true grit of a fighter that he
You know what
is.
that shows? That's a champion mentality.
Exactly.
Getting up to he's gonna get the job done.
Exactly.
No matter what
And
happens.
it didn't look like he didn't even phase him.
No, he got up like nothing. He's like, you
So
got me, let's go.
he basically
I
showed
think you
other
gotta believe
fighters,
it.
if you hit me, I will get back up.
Yeah, but a lot of guys get, especially when they get dropped for their first time, they don't know what the hell. Sometimes they don't even know where they're at, and they're like hugging and ducking and moving. He got up and he was like, "Go
Yeah,
right
he
back
was,
to
he was
work."
actually making Campbell back up.
Yeah,
He's
right
actually
back to
backing him
work.
up.
Right
Yeah.
back to work. But who can possibly be, unless he's just blowing smoke up our ass? Who could it be over Tank Davis? I don't believe he's knocking Tank out in 2 rounds. I don't believe it for
no,
a second.
hell no.
No, that's not going to happen.
But-
Not with
But
Tank.
Who who can he said he's announcing it this week, right?
Yeah.
Who's
Well,
bigger
you know,
than
to
him?
be honest, the easiest fights for him is going based on the same promoters, meaning the same promoter. What do I have on my stable? Well, this guy's the same weight as you.
A couple UK fighters.
You know,
But
just,
no, they're not bigger than Tank.
no, of course not. Again,
The only notable fight that I can think, and I don't know why people keep saying Pacquiao. Pacquiao is way bigger than him.
Oh yeah.
by far,
By far,
by
like
far.
weight-wise, experience-wise.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
he's
he's-
taking, extra juices to get him bigger.
Well, you know, the reason why Manny's name is being mentioned a lot, he's getting older. That's
He's ready
all-
for the cash out.
Because the older he is, the more he loses his reflex. He doesn't have the reflex as he was 10 years ago. And that slips. But he's got the big names. So it's like, oh, if I could catch him, if I'm faster than Manny and wear him down and make him look bad and get the win, I got the win. I got the big name underneath me. You know, it's with it. All boxing's gambling.
Yeah.
You know, there's no guarantee in boxing. I've seen that 1,000 times on a guarantee, and I go, how was your guarantee? Wasn't so much. You got knocked out or you lost.
Yeah.
And again, but it's smart to go, you know what? He's getting older. He's still got the name. Let me get him now. I'm younger. I'm quicker.
I just
But
don't
the
see-
problem
I don't
is,
see the fight
Manny, as
coming
old as
together.
he is, he moves a lot better than Ryan does.
Look, Manny Pacquiao, I just think is way out of the league, way out of reach for somebody like Ryan Garcia for the fact that the weight, they will not meet at a catch weight, I don't think. Pacquiao's way up in age to be cutting weight way down. Ryan's way too small to be going that far up. Sure, the money could be there, but I just don't see that fight coming to
Also,
fruition.
for Pacquiao, I hear there's a lot of talk on Pacquiao versus McGregor.
True.
Pacquiao
That's
said
what
he
I've
wants
been
to
hearing.
fight
That's
him.
what I've been
That's
hearing.
why-
That's
And
why-
that's more. That's a. I don't want to say a cakewalk, but I want to say a cakewalk.
Well, we'll know that tonight.
Pacquiao.
McGregor's fighting tonight. Now, it's up to McGregor to look good tonight if he wants Manny.
But he's on the MMA side tonight. It doesn't matter what he does in there. He could come to the boxing side and
It's true, but he will look better if he comes off of a win.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, everybody crucifies you when you have a loss, no matter what. I've heard that 1,000 times. Oh, but he lost. He lost. Well, I get it. So,
Yeah.
boxing, you know, it's the only sport among, you know, that when you lose, you could be at the top. When you lose, you fall off the ladder from the bottom.
And a lot of people take that O. A lot of
Right.
people take that O way too
Seriously.
serious to protect. You know, all the greats prior to had losses
Oh, of
and
course.
comebacks, and they still went in the history books. But I think Mayweather started that trend where undefeated. That O, that I got that O. You know. Now, when you put two undefeated fighters together, somebody's O is going to go.
Well, not
So,
exactly.
It doesn't define you.
No.
You know,
No, of course
And
not.
who really did it like Mayweather?
I mean, look
nobody
at
else really did.
Canelo when he lost against Mayweather. It just made him better.
It was the best thing that could happen.
And that's exactly it. Didn't ruin his career, and it made him a
Propelled
lot
him.
better fighter
It propelled
because
him.
he understood, knowing that he goes, I got schooled by an old, smaller guy. My boxing wasn't that good. It has to get better.
Right.
But I'm going to continue to fight these other big names. I can't do what just happened with with Floyd Mayweather.
And he learned so much from that fight.
True. So it was a good lose.
And he was never on pay-per-view prior to that, right?
no,
He was on the
we're never.
undercards.
Not
That was his first
That was
big
his first
pay-per-view.
big pay-per-view. Then right after that, he started headlining. He started moving his waist and making more of a counterpuncher style, a little better of a boxer.
More elusive, definitely.
Way more elusive, yeah. And he became such a better fighter, and I'm pretty sure he grew so much from that loss.
Oh, no,
because
by
a loss
far.
to Mayweather is not really a loss. To,
By far.
you know,
No,
big
that's
payday,
exactly
and
true.
you get exposure, and
I've seen that with world champions when they lost to Julio Cesar Chavez. They didn't take it too personally because no one beat them.
yeah, but in those cases, man, you took a beating. Julio Cesar Chavez, he didn't come in
He went
with
87-0, right? Before his first loss?
something like
Now
that.
he was 80,
He was
89.
up there.
89-0?
89 and 0.
That's a different era too, though.
Yeah.
You know, people compare. Well, Julio Cesar Chavez did, yeah, but you also compare the champions he fought versus the champions, say, like Floyd Mayweather fought.
Right.
Floyd Mayweather fought like 25 or 26 world
Half
champions.
of his record.
Half of his record is all world champions and all mega
All
fights.
title fights.
Yeah, practically.
True.
So it's the caliber of fights. It's like you really can't compare. But in Julio Cesar Chavez's time, you're able to fight 3-4 times a month. You know, whether it was a cab driver or not.
Well, and to be honest, he beat up a lot of world champions because I'll tell you why. he only fought, and this is what people don't understand, he fought the number one ranked. In other words, if you were fighting Chavez, you were either a champion or you were ranked number one.
Yeah.
You were not ranked number 12.
Right.
He wasn't going to fight you if you were ranked number 12.
After
So, in other words, that's something that's not as done anymore. You don't hear on this corner ranked number 2 in the world. You don't hear that no more.
Because it doesn't work like that anymore,
Well,
right?
if you watch Chavez fights, right over here, ranked number 1 in the world. That was always being said. So Chavez was fighting the top fighters, meaning he took everyone's title and been ranked you were ranked number 1. If you're ranked number 7, you were not going to fight Chavez.
Right.
So, therefore, with Mayweather, which I love to death, it became more about the money.
The show.
In other words,
money,
in the show. In other words, he fought world champions, but again, he wasn't fighting the rankings.
Oh, all right, Coach. Let's do it then. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's hear
All
it.
right. No, I'm just kidding. But to the defense, do you think Mayweather holds his solidified, like where they hold him?
Chavez?
No, Mayweather.
Mayweather.
Because a lot of people take from him.
And I tell this about Mayweather. Again, very intelligent fighter. When I watch him, I go, what an intelligent fighter he is. And he is the best in his era.
Yeah.
In his era. No one could come second close to that.
Right.
So when people compare him to Chavez, two different fighters.
You really can't. Yeah, two different eras.
Two different
fighters.
eras.
I'm saying to where people hold him as because I hold him as he's the best. He's my favorite fighter and the best to do it in my time that I've seen.
And I agree.
But a lot of people try to take
well, they take it away because the problem with what they don't like about Mayweather and people that don't know
His
shit
style.
about boxing, he runs.
Yeah, it's his style.
I go, I don't see him have his track shoes on, and he's in a ring.
He's in a ring. Where's the
If you don't know how to cut him off, that is your fault as a fighter.
Exactly.
That's not, anybody that moves a lot, you cut off the ring. If you don't know how to cut off the ring, that's on you because the ring, he's on a 20 by 20 ring.
Yeah.
He's not running. He's just moving beautifully.
Exactly.
In other words, you trained your hands to fight, but you didn't train your feet to move as quick as Mayweather. So that is basically your fault. And again, Mayweather is a sharpshooter, meaning what? He doesn't swing for the fences like other fighters do.
Very precise.
Very much so. So when he throws a punch, it lands. And if you look at the compound numbers, his percentage is one of the
Super
highest.
high, yeah.
So that's not by running away, and that's not by missing. That's by landing. So again, what Mayweather makes him so good, people, is his defense, his footwork.
Is incredible. Yep.
Then it's his punching.
And it's not a Philly shell.
So
it's
you guys are looking for punching.
Yeah.
He's, again, that's not what fighting is about. It's how, when you go in the ring, you go in there and say, you're trying to find out, okay, you're a good fighter, I'm a good fighter, but my defense is better than yours, and I'm going to show it. In fact, my footwork is better than yours, I'm going to show it. Everyone thinks it's a slugfest. It's not a slugfest.
His conditioning was immaculate.
Oh, it is.
Never got out of
but
shape.
again, a lot of fighters
Always.
are the same way. They don't train not to be out of condition. It's the skills of. When I work with guys all the time, I said who are fighters, I go, you do know you don't move your feet enough. Mm-hmm. Also, you do know you don't defend yourself enough, and that's only a matter of time that's going to catch up to you. Right. You don't move your feet, you don't defend yourself. You're giving your opponent an opportunity to hit you more.
Right.
And all it takes is one punch, not two. One good punch, and you're down. And again, so teach yourself not to sit there and get hit. Remember, bags don't punch back. People do.
And what did Mayweather throughout his career he got caught maybe like 3 or 4 times?
Oh, he has.
His entire career?
That's the risk of boxing, yes.
No, I'm saying that's a very low number.
That's a
for,
very
for
low
somebody
number.
That
For as many world champs as
he's fought.
So you're right, but people hate Mayweather.
And they just find an excuse
for how good he really is.
I stopped debating it or trying to prove it because they will nitpick the littlest things to try and justify their point. And there really is no point.
Again, that's people that don't know about boxing. And I tell this to everybody real quick. Oh, I hate Mayweather. I go, why do you hate Mayweather? I go, do you know his opponent that he fought? Yeah, he wants to be a Mayweather. He likes to be a Mayweather. Why is it boxers want to be Mayweather, but spectators don't want to be Mayweather? And I go, that's because you don't know boxing. He knows the sweet science of it. And it is a sweet science. Mayweather plays chess, and he's always keeping his king and taking yours away.
Yeah.
So, what other name is out there for Ryan Garcia bigger than Tank
Well,
Davis?
again, the doors are wide open for him. Obviously, here's the problem. He was promoting for Tank. Okay, that's okay. It's going to be Tank because you're promoting it, and Tank says, "Let's do it, let's do it." So now we didn't rest on it to say who's out there. It's almost anyone he can take. So really, I guess what they're doing is they need to build his record up. Meaning he just needs more experience.
Speaking of
So,
Ryan Garcia,
what do you say? Who do you think? Will they announce?
Honestly, it don't know, and the reason is I'll tell you why. It's not really up to Ryan. It's up to the promoter.
To Oscar?
It's up to Oscar.
Yep, it's up to Oscar. That's who it's really up to. So you can say, I want this guy, I want this guy, I want this guy. But Oscar goes, that's not in my plans.
Right.
It's really to Oscar is the promoter. He's the one that says, I'm going to do this. He's really the boss. Why? Because he's invested in him. And he says, I want my money to stretch out more.
You think it'll be Iinares?
ooh, that would actually.
That's a good one. It really, again, we just have
That's
to wait
not a
because
bigger-
you can name 10 guys. And it
still a good
really,
name,
it's
though.
just kind of.
He's saying it's a bigger, a mega fight. Linares is not a mega fight.
Yeah.
Linares is the next liable opponent after.
More realistic than
Yes.
Davis.
Oh, much more. He'd be the way Oscar's doing it. Remember, Oscar came from Bob Arum, and Bob Arum at a top rank. They do a beautiful job of building the fighter. They build you
Right.
correctly, and I think he's taking a page out of the book by being smart with Ryan because he since lost Canelo, so he needs to build him up by putting him in front of Linares, and then potentially another. Who's a good 130-pounder that isn't, freaking Tank Davis or Teofimo Lopez or something like that?
Well, there's you can find them. Here's the thing, and I do believe that Ryan wants to fight Tank,
Sure.
but it isn't up to him.
No. of
It's
course.
up to Oscar, and Oscar decides what he does, and he controls them. So that's where the backpedaling looks like where typically where Oscar says you should have kept your mouth shut.
Yeah. But my point is, he's saying a mega fight. I think he's blowing smoke. I don't
Right.
think there's a mega fight in the cooks.
I think it's going to be Pacquiao watch.
Nah,
No,
I don't
it won't
see
be
that
Pacquiao.
Who would
coming
predict? Who would
together.
you guys predict?
Well, I think Pacquiao.
He's saying Pacquiao. What do you say?
Pacquiao? I think Linares.
You think Linares?
Linares
What do you think,
really-
Coach?
United makes more sense.
Well, Iinares, like Lou said, it's not a mega fight.
It's not, but he doesn't need a mega fight. We
He's-
want the
he's-
mega fights.
He's on the internet blowing smoke, talking about
Of
some
course,
mega fights.
every fighter does. We
You
all
know-
want the mega
You
fights.
know who I think it is? The closest thing he can get lining up with the promoters on DAZN and getting it done, maybe could either be Devin Haney
Exactly.
or Teofimo Lopez.
Because they're in,
I think more Devin
they're
Haney.
in
More
the
Devin
same
Lopez.
promotion.
They're right there. They're right
The
aligned.
network on that.
Didn't Devin Haney beat him in the Olympics?
It doesn't matter, but yeah,
That's
I
a
think
long
That's
time
yeah,
ago.
but that's the Olympics. That's
Olympics,
not.
It's not the pros.
it won't be the same thing.
Yeah.
Different time. It was like years ago, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So also, I think Lomachenko reached out to Devin Haney to fight him.
Right.
And Devin Haney was like, "Nope, you disrespected me when I wanted to fight you. Now
Oh, why do
now-
guys do that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what-
it's-
that's that.
Who
Yep.
cares? Like, fight him, dude.
He's like, oh no, he's like, you didn't want to fight me
That's
when I wanted to
pride.
fight you. You know what I mean? Now you fell to the bottom. Now you got to work your way back up to the top.
I get that too.
What do you guys
But
feel about
well,
that?
here's the thing. Lomachenko did not fall to the bottom. Okay, let's be honest. The guy did not get beat up. Okay, he lost. Okay, but in this sport, you're always going to lose. There's a winner and a loser if you don't get the draw. So he lost that fight. But did he lose his skills? Did he look horrible? Did he look bad? No.
No.
He did not do that. So the thing is, Lomachenko is still a big threat. He's a
Sure.
major threat. So he lost his fight. He picked up, regrouped, and relearns. And he's like, okay, I need another. Lomachenko goes, I need another name that I could get a belt back. I get what he's doing. So that's why he's still a threat. And these guy goes, yeah, I don't think I want you to fight me.
But now nobody wants to fight. Before everybody wanted to fight him.
Because he had the belt.
He had the belt.
Now
He has the
wants
belt.
to fight him, and they don't want to.
Well, because they don't want to lose their belt.
'Cause now he's still dangerous.
The thing is, think about it. If you have the belt, I have to take it away from you.
Yeah.
I have the belt. I don't want you to take it away from me.
Yeah.
He's still that threat. He's still that dangerous guy.
And like I said, if they rematch, which it sounds like they won't, if they rematch, I say Lomachenko takes it.
I
yeah.
guarantee it because he
He's
would
not gonna make the same
understand.
mistakes.
Again, he learned that he could not sit back. He had, he had to be more aggressive. And again, his dad had to learn. we were too relaxed and too calm in the corner.
We're too used to winning.
Exactly, and I didn't know how to push you. I didn't know how to, get things rolling. So that's a learning stone to take from there. And okay, we need to move
next
on.
for Lomachenko?
Again, the door's open for him as well.
I hear Mikey Garcia.
Really?
Supposedly, yeah.
Mikey Garcia.
It would, I did hear that, and it would be so dumb.
You know what?
You think so?
Mikey,
For
you know-
Mikey?
you know
Mikey.
what,
For
you know what the
Mikey,
thing
not-
about Mikey is? I'm a gigantic fan of Mikey Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Even back when he was bald and looked like a cholo.
Yeah.
And he dominated the 130, 135 division. And the thing about Mikey is that if you prepare any opponent, it doesn't matter who it is, if you prepare 99.999% and you miss that, you're just off by that 0.0001%, you lost.
You
You lost.
can capitalize on it.
Yeah, because Mikey, and I mean it with the utmost respect, he's nothing special. He doesn't have crazy power. He hits hard, but he doesn't have crazy power, doesn't have crazy footwork, doesn't have crazy defense, doesn't have crazy boxing, boxer punch. He's a boxer puncher, but he's such a well-rounded fighter.
He has good timing.
He does have good timing,
very
but he's
good timing.
nothing
Perfect fundamentals.
flashy, nothing special, nothing crazy. He's just always so fundamentally ready, and his fundamentals are so good. I think he's built off of like the Garcia pedigree, where his foundation's so good and built over it that he's always 100% ready to come win. So if you lack one little thing, he's got you beat.
Yeah.
What I agree with you with Mikey, and you're exactly correct. What makes Mikey really good, he understands not to make mistakes.
Exactly.
He doesn't make
His
mistakes.
fundamentals
He
are
knows
just
his fundamentals
freaking
really
ridiculous.
He understands his defense just enough to move and all that.
Yeah.
When you watch him fight, he doesn't make any mistakes. And with fighters, they're looking for mistakes.
Exactly.
I can't walk in, I can't get to you. And yet, he capitalizes on their mistakes. That's what makes him so good. But to go after again, Lomachenko, again,
That's a toughie.
Mike is really the bigger guy.
I thought he was going to fight Crawford, Terence Crawford.
No one's chasing Crawford.
Mikey's technically a welterweight now, right?
Technically, but I don't think
He
fits.
really should be smaller.
He should be 140, right?
He should be
At
140.
max.
He really should be 140, which is really bigger than Lomachenko. If you were to stand them together, he's a bigger guy than Lomachenko.
Yeah.
So, again, I favor Lomachenko on that only because of his movement and speed. The in and out precise, up side to side, where Mikey is like he's a forward guy, but he's timing you, and he goes, it's hard to time someone who's 2 seconds faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, you're just 2 seconds faster every time. So, and again, Lomachenko is small, and he can afford to move that much.
Yeah.
So,
Loma is very small.
again, and Mikey hasn't fought in a while, so he's gonna bring ring rust to a fight like that.
Hey, but
Yeah, you're right.
What's that drama with Mikey Garcia and Bob Arum?
Oh,
he
bro.
he was on Instagram Live yesterday saying "fuck."
Dude,
you,
they have
Bob
a
Arum."
long history of.
Yeah, they do.
And he was like, you didn't even know what was going on with the lawsuit. You're people, so fuck your people, fuck you.
Dude, Mikey lost like two years, was it? Coach?
Yeah.
He lost 2 years of his prime years in fighting due to the contract that Bob Arum, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the way they do business. Not that it matters, 'cause I have no business interest in it, but Bob is, for anyone that doesn't know, is the head owner, or whatever, president, CEO of Top Rank, and they have a long history of, they had Floyd Mayweather, which Floyd bought himself out. They had De La Hoya. They had tons, and they still have tons of stars. But he's a lawyer and likes to contractually grip you and take you for every part of the contract he can get. And he had Mikey Garcia, and Mikey, like a lot of like De La Hoya, like Mayweather, he's a very smart guy. I think Mikey's more business smart than most fighters, and he basically played out his contract, and then Bob Arum or his people or whatever, Top Rank, said, well, contractually, we still got you for X amount of time or X amount of fights. And then Mikey got his lawyers and said, no, the contract's up. We're done. So either you renew me or you let me go, because it's a done contract. So they ended up having some loophole, and he was trying to dig out of the loophole. So basically, long story short, 2 years, he couldn't fight anyone. And instead of meeting in the middle, Top Rank was basically like, cool, well, we're going to lawsuit and basically can't fight for 2 years. And they thought he would fold because he's in his prime years, and he didn't fold. He kept his guns, he got his lawyers involved, and 2 years later, whatever loophole it was canceled out, and he was able to then go to, like all fighters did, he went to PBC on a very small, limited contract. But I can understand the hatred towards Bob Arum then, because he lost 2 prime years of his fight career.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, he was on there. He's like, oh, I don't hate him, but fuck him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I would hate him, dude.
Well, yeah. Well,
Dude, you're keeping money out of your
Yeah, that's what
kids'
that's
pockets,
exactly
bro.
what he's saying. He's like, you don't want me to fight nobody,
Yeah.
and then he's like, you don't want to give me no fights, and you don't want me to go fight.
Exactly.
He's like, so you're taking money away
From his kid's mouth, dude.
From my kid's mouth,
Yeah.
from my table. So
That's
fuck
his
you.
livelihood.
And I was like,
Well,
oh shit.
you can't blame him very much. When was his last fight? It was, who did he fight last?
Well, he lost against
Errol Spence.
Spence.
Yeah.
Now, Spence has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
How long? So that kind of tells you how long he's been out and hasn't been fighting. So he hasn't been making an income.
Right.
No,
So-
but like I said, Mikey, and I know people that know him personally, and I've gotten the lowdown. Like I said, Mikey is a very smart businessman. He's a very good boxer, but I think he's smarter than most boxers are outside of the ring. He's got a lot of investments. The cars alone show it. He's got a stable
Right.
of cars, a compound up in Inland Empire. He's doing well for himself. Very well for himself.
Come
But
visit us,
nonetheless-
Mikey, at the Boxing Club podcast, bro. We'd love to have you.
Oh, would love that.
For sure.
Robert
And he-
Garcia too.
Yeah, he's a hell of a guy, man. Hell of a guy, and they come into El Comal over in Lake Elsinore, and they
Shout out to El Comal
shout
too.
out to El Comal.
Really
They
good
catch
Mexican
Robert Garcia in there, and he comes in. I would love to have Mikey in here, man. Or we go to their gym, whatever. We
So
can-
that's if you guys are out there, if you know Robert, Mikey, and their dad too, I want to get to know their dad.
Big G.
Yeah.
And for anyone that doesn't know, man, this is the family that started in Oxnard in La Colonia, and they brought Fernando Vargas up from a kid from the amateurs. He was a amateur superstar, and brought him into the pros and so forth and so forth. They also brought in Brandon Rios alongside Victor Ortiz.
Long pedigree.
Man, they got a long pedigree, long stable.
Mexican.
Huh? The Russian Mexican. They have tons of fighters, man. They have Josecito Lopez right now. They've got
Riverside Rocky, what's up?
they got
Get you in here too.
Franco. They have
Oh, we'd love to have Riverside Rocky in here too. He's our neighbor. He's down the street.
he is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, Canelo's year might fight 4 times this year.
I hope so, man.
He does. He has a mandatory fight right now.
He yelled the ring.
February 27th.
Yeah. The guy, again,
Hey, he's gonna go and clean out the pond, huh?
well, the thing
Yeah.
is the guy a good fighter? Okay, he could be. He's not in Canelo's.
But his last fight was a loss. That's what I don't understand.
The thing is, he's not in the caliber of Canelo, but it's a mandatory fight for the belt because it's the belt that controls it too.
I told you, Canelo's fighting for legacy. He's not fighting for.
So
Hey,
he's-
but I like this fight. I'm like whatever about it. To be honest with you, I really want to see Canelo versus Billy Joe.
well,
Billy
the
Joe
thing is,
Saunders?
if Canelo wants to keep this belt, he has to fight that guy.
Oh, really?
If he doesn't fight this guy, he loses his belt, and he has to vacate the belt. So that's why it's a mandatory.
So that makes sense. So he's gonna fight. They're doing. It sounds to me, even with his old contract that is now canceled, they're doing away with the 2 giant fights a year. They're doing away
Right.
with that. That's what it sounds like.
Well, again, remember the belts are the controllers as well, because they invest into all the money as well. They're a big sponsor. In other words, if the belt holders are like, hey, we're not fighting, we're not here, but we're investing all this money to you guys. No, you have to fight us, or you don't get no money from us. And they're not going to. Oh, whoa, we want that money. So,
Yes, we do.
therefore, that's why if Canelo wants to continue that weight, he has to fight that mandatory.
This guy's
fight.
gonna end up cleaning out the pond, man.
Yeah, because,
very much so.
Because he's fighting next month in February.
Right,
And then he's fighting in
May.
right.
Then he's fighting in September.
And then
there's
December.
and he's working on a December fight.
Right.
as well.
Good, dude. I am so I've come a long way from Canelo. I was a hater, not a hater.
I remember when you were.
I was
Canelo
skeptical,
hater.
super. I'm like, dude,
I
they're
remember.
taking too much care of him. He doesn't want to fight these guys they're putting in front of him. He's fighting like, Kirkland, who doesn't have his real training. Angulo. I'm like, dude, I know the back end to this stuff. If you're really gonna be the face of boxing, man, go and clean out. And look at this guy; he's cleaning house.
Without a doubt, he's doing that.
Cleaning
He's
house.
really doing
He
that.
looks
He's
pretty
proven
damn
himself.
good doing it, too.
He's proven
Oh, he
himself to
looks
doing it. So
spectacular.
that's why, he's up for challenges and he's up for the better fighters. But this one here is a hiccup. He can't pass it.
Okay, so this year he's dedicating himself to the pond, right? To Europe, to
Right.
Yeah, he's got Eddie Hearn, but I'm
But-
sure. Yeah.
But what about Charlo? What about Benavidez?
You know-
Benavidez is. What do you think about Benavidez? I know we kind of talked about it, Eric.
He's fucking beast, dude.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
He's a little green for Canelo right now. You think?
Well,
He's only got 20 fights, something like
I
that.
think he's still capable of putting on.
Oh,
good
no
fight,
doubt,
good
dude.
match.
No doubt. Even Charlo too.
Well, here's the problem with the belt holders. Okay, so now think about it. It really, there's a lot of good fighters for them to fight, but there's still unfinished business. And
With who?
well, Canelo's really blemished fighter that he's ever had was Triple G.
Yeah.
It's unfinished business.
You
In
think
other
that's
words,
a December fight?
it could be. It could be because the fact is, it's unfinished business. Triple G looked great on his last fight.
he
He was
looked amazing.
dominating.
Oh, my
So
God, he looked
again,
amazing.
so did Canelo. Therefore, you should see them together. It's sad that you can't get these two gladiators to go at it.
I think they will.
But here's the problem again. People don't understand. As the weeks go by, the months go by, the year goes by, you're getting older.
Another year.
And again, Canelo's still young. Triple G's not.
So what, like 39 or something?
Right. He's getting older, right? His time is today, not tomorrow. And again, but they want to go, I'd rather fight you tomorrow, not today. And that's really what happens a lot. That's what the promoters do. They know the math.
Sure.
Oh, let's set the schedule here. He's that much older.
Yeah.
That's when we'll get him. He's that much older because I've seen old guys age quick in the ring. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
they just became old.
One fight to the next.
So
Like I thought Triple G was going to age, but his last fight,
No, he looks
he
good.
does, but you gotta understand when you're that old to continue that workout is not easy.
right?
It's easy to say, screw it. I'm gonna take this workout lighter and lighter. When a young guy who's got the spring of the legs to jump up and down and do push-ups, an older guy doing push-ups, like, damn, I could do it, but man, I have to work at it. Where little guys would be pumping it like it was no one's business.
Yeah.
And that goes for the legs, the reflex. Again, sometimes you're fighting a big name, but you're fighting for the reflex of what the person is going to bring to the table. And getting old, you lose your reflex.
That's true. That's true. But go ahead. Well, I was going to say, sounds like, you're fighting 4 times a year.
Yeah.
You're going to clean out the house.
You're gonna
And,
clean out
and
the
it goes
house.
back to the times where, like, the non-notable fighters.
Right.
Like Andre Ward, what did he do? He cleaned out his division.
Clean out the house. Yep.
Clean out
Andre Ward wants to
divisions.
come back too.
Does he really?
Yep.
And again, before we discuss that, keep in mind, and you're gambling in boxing. If they say, "Oh, we want to fight," let's say we want to fight Triple J in December. That's providing if you don't lose. That, that happens. I've seen a lot of spoilers where like, "Ooh, spoiler alert, you lost. You're not going to. You just gave up your mega fight," and that happens a lot.
Oh, it's happened. So how many times has the plans been derailed with Deontay Wilder, with
Many
Anthony
times,
Joshua?
many times. So you're gambling, and again, you go, okay, and then now the fight's not the same anymore. Okay, well, you're fighting, but it doesn't have the same luster as it did. Like I said, if they were to fight 2 months from now, it'll draw a lot of crowd and people into it, and then the winner can continue. Does that make sense?
no, it makes
And then you can talk about these like this Charles and all these other young gladiators.
Charlo.
Charles, excuse me.
And that's Jamal.
So,
Not
but
your mouth.
thank you for correcting
Hey,
me.
but-
A-ho.
Funny thing, talking about guys coming out of the woodwork, Keith Thurman came out and started talking shit.
Oh, he's calling everybody
He
out.
called everyone out. Keith Thurman came out,
Everybody.
and in his little ramble, he goes, this little hissy fit. He goes, and I took a loss from Pacquiao. He got me. So what? And I'm like, nah, not so what, bro. You
Let's forget about it.
So
can't forget that.
who's in it? Who can one time fight?
one time can still fight, I want to see him fight Errol Spence.
Remember, he was once an A. He's now a B.
Yes, exactly. He was the boogeyman. Everyone
Right.
wanted to stay away from him. Then they figured out his. He's so in shape that it's hard to stop him, but he's a little chinny. He gets touched and in the body.
Right.
Remember when Luis Collazo got him?
He does not like getting hit in the body
Not
at
at all.
Clearly showed it. Clearly showed he didn't like getting
So
hit in
we've
the
seen his
body.
kryptonite, and I think more fighters are now like apt to let's get it on. And now he's trying to pick and choose. But you're right, he's no longer the A side. Now he's the B side. Now you got to get in the fights that are handed to you.
So again, he's out there searching for fights. So in other words, he's got to promote. He's got to be with his promoter and say, "Hey, I want to fight. And I'm gonna call out everybody. And hopefully, I'll spark something up."
Who can he fight though?
I don't know.
Errol Spence.
Nah.
Why not?
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
I think it would be an easy win for Spence. Not an easy win, but
It'd be a good fight.
You know what? To be honest with you, here's the problem, because you saw Earl Spence taking control.
Over Danny.
Danny, because he controlled him,
Yeah.
and Danny and Thurman already fought, and it was just kind of bland.
Yeah, and Sean Porter's been in the mix with all of them too.
So it really.
Who's left?
Wow. Well, nobody wants to fight Crawford. That's the number one guy.
I think they do want to fight him.
you
I
think
think
they
Bob
fight
Arum does.
Well, Bob Arum doesn't want to do it.
I hope he drops him. Like
I
you
mean,
said.
but the thing is, Crawford, and here's the thing with Crawford as well, and he's saying the same thing. I want to fight everybody, but everybody's waiting to see for me to get older. You walk out of my prime. Nobody wants to fight him, but he is the number one on top of the pyramid.
Crawford's
There's
good.
no one above Crawford.
Well, I think if Bob Arum drops him, I think he'll fight Mikey Garcia.
I hope he goes to the PBC.
Well, again,
Getting all
that's
of
if
them.
that's
Yeah, 'cause
if he drops
that's
him.
a long list of,
You know.
of fighters over
PBC's
there.
got
at
it.
PBC.
But again, I'm all about the gladiators fighting the gladiators, and quit chasing old names. Everybody's chasing old names, and I get it. You want it into your resume, but it's old names.
You know, that's what PBC did. They got them all in the mix, and they made them fight all fight one another.
Here's what I like to, I just heard Don King just passed away. And
Did he really?
Rest in peace, Don.
Don King passed
Don King
away?
passed away. So now the sad part about Don King, what a great promoter he really was.
He was a good
He was a great promoter, and I'll tell you why.
bit of a thief.
When he had like the super middleweights, because he owned everybody.
Yeah.
And he says, all you guys are going to fight each other. You're not going to avoid each other. So in other words, he says, all right, we're going to do this. You're going to fight this guy. You're going to fight this guy. Okay, so you sit back.
Fights this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how, what's his name, cleaned up house. That was,
Tyson?
nope, the middleweight.
Ward?
Under Ward. Under Ward cleaned up the middleweights. He fought.
He cleaned the house.
He cleaned the house. He couldn't avoid it. So you had all these great middleweights, and they were, I like Don King what he did. He did that with the heavyweights as well.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So even though Don King passed away, but he was a great promoter for that, and he did put all the best fights on. And I remember.
Hey, did he really screw a lot of his fighters with money?
Yeah, he did.
What now?
Did he really screw a lot of fighters with
Of
money?
course, he's a businessman. So.
Poor Chavez.
But you know what?
And
Just
then
so you know, all promoters do the same thing.
When
He
they
was just
asked
better
him-
at it.
When they asked my man Don King, and you can pull it up on YouTube, it's all over. They asked him like I don't know how blatant it was, but when they asked him about did he steal money,
Yeah.
he'll be like, he came to me poor. He's not poor anymore, so what does it matter?
Damn.
That's true. Well,
He
and
was
the thing
savage.
is, back in the day when people were signing up with Don King, they all knew. Oh. But Don King goes, well,
Chavez
how much money do you have now? Zero. Well, I'm going to give you money either way, but I'm going to make money off of you. And again, Don King was a businessman. Okay, people have a hard time understanding what a businessman does. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to make you bigger than you are. But guess what? I'm taking the biggest purse out of it.
You know what? And you're right, because one of the biggest promoters right now in our time at this moment, one of the biggest ones, a billionaire, and that everyone knows, the fighter knows, the fans know, they're getting screwed from every which way possible in every hole that they've got, and they still continue to go. Dana White.
Yeah? Yep.
Oh,
Dana White.
Dana White.
Bingo.
White, bro.
Dana White.
Dana White is the great promoter, great businessman.
He monopolized it.
You cannot wear your own shirt into the ring. It's got to say Reebok, Monster, whoever
Yep.
he's got in the ring. You cannot have your own T-shirt. If you ever noticed,
Like a lot of fighters, they lost a lot of money.
He had
from
one of the
sponsorships for his-
he had one of the
they have
fighters.
sponsorships.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only sponsorship is what Dana White puts in there.
Reebok. That's
It's
it.
Reebok. And when think about it, Conor McGregor, when
Right.
everyone was like, "Oh, he's coming in to beat Floyd," because no, he's coming in for the paycheck.
Exactly.
He knows he has a slight chance of winning, a very slight chance. It doesn't matter because he doesn't have to fight another day in his life. He quadrupled his net worth in one fight.
And that's true. And Dana White is a businessman. I like one of his fighters told him one of the fighters wanted more money, and Dana says, "I can't afford you. I can't give you that money." And he's looking at his garage. He goes, "Well, I see you have 2 Ferraris. Why don't you give me one of them?"
No, it's
And he goes, "I can't give you my Ferrari either."
ridiculous what these guys get paid. If you're not a headliner, you're making like 120 grand, maybe $500,000, maybe. And you're talking a mega fight, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, they got paid like $2 million.
Right.
$2 million.
Compared to
The
boxing.
whole long career, your highest paid is $2 million.
Well, think about St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre.
Okay, of course he's from Canada, but keep in mind, his mega fights were $80,000.
Yeah.
That's
$80,000 for St. Pierre. That guy was crazy.
It's a legend.
Legend.
Huge.
And so, in other words, they were making all the money, and he goes, "Okay, here's 80,000." And now 80,000 may go far in Canada, but it doesn't go far in the
No,
U.S.
after
And so
taxes,
that probably
after
lasted maybe
training
4
camp.
years. So that again, but that's a guy that gave up his life.
All these fighters.
So-
I mean, we just had the last episode of Matias where you dedicate your life to the sport.
Yeah.
You can't eat what you want to eat all the time. You can't do what you want. You got to get up and run. You got to train. You got to live this sport, and you got to kind of be poor afterwards. No,
Right.
Thanks.
So
No, thanks. And that's why a lot of people, like I said in the beginning, they think 2 people. They think God and they think Al Heyman.
right.
And the reason is, Al Heyman was one of the first, and he got Bob Arum. You can pull these videos up. Bob Arum, De La Hoya, all these guys were criticizing Al Heyman because they were like, you shouldn't be paying fighters that much money that fast. But Al Heyman, why he gets thanked? Because he puts the money in fighters' pockets. 1.2 million for your first headline fight, it was unheard of.
Right.
The boxers
Look
were
what he did for Leo Santa Cruz.
Exactly. What he did exactly. Leo Santa Cruz named one of his kids after Al Heyman.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he changed these guys' lives, and
It's crazy.
I mean, and the way we see boxing on freaking free TV now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Anything else?
Well, not much. I think we covered just about everything today.
Real quick. Andre Ward wants to come back and fight Joshua instead of Canelo. What do you guys think about that?
That's insane, man. That's
Joshua over Canelo?
Andre Ward rather fight Anthony Joshua over Canelo in his comeback.
man. That's a.
That's a good namer.
I think versus Canelo's more realistic because Joshua's fucking huge.
He's a big,
Joshua's
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's what, like
Big
6'6"?
Is that possible?
Well, it is for Andre Ward, but Andre Ward's been out of the ring for how long now? Quite a
But
while.
is he really out of the ring? Is he like
Quite a while.
not training
Well,
anymore?
again, you're gonna bring ring rust no matter what, because even I don't care if you're not.
Just like Mayweather. Mayweather, he hasn't fought in forever, but he's still in killer shape. He still trains.
Yeah.
But he's still losing his reflex.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's a good one.
Andre Ward's a big namer, one of the best fighters out there.
I think he should stay retired.
I agree. He's undefeated. Keep it. Oh, well, he's
Keep
not
your
undefeated,
legacy.
but he is one of the greats. I agree. He should stay just retired. He doesn't have to
He is
prove
undefeated.
anything.
Yeah, he's like 30-0 or something, 33-0 or
Yeah,
something.
he retired undefeated.
Oh, that's right.
He retired. I mean, he gold medalist.
Came out in Creed.
Olympian.
Yeah.
Came
yeah.
out in
Coming to
Creed,
Creed.
which
yeah.
was dope.
So, but I agree. I think he
Shout
should
out
stay
to that
retired.
dude, man.
There's no, he doesn't have to prove anything anymore.
Nothing.
You know,
He
the
doesn't
thing
have
is,
to prove a thing.
the problem is these guys want to come back out of retirement because they miss the attention they used to get, and so they go back into the ring and they get a major loss,
Wake-up call.
like a knockout, and realize I should have stayed retired. And keep in mind, people always remember your last fight.
Hey, but that didn't stop Roy Jones Jr. from coming back.
Yeah, but
after his
look how he
knockouts.
got jacked up.
Yeah,
Oh,
He
yeah.
got jacked
Roy
up.
Jones
Yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
That's-
he fought in Europe a couple times, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to hang it up, man.
So-
Hang it up. Hey, keep doing movies, Andre Ward, man. Shout out, he's from Oakland. We used to go watch his half filled arenas, but we still love you, man. He wasn't popular, but every real boxing fan knew he was the man. Pound for
Sure.
pound, right after Floyd Mayweather. Get into Creed 3, man. Get in the movies. He's still, a specimen of a dude. And don't
He's
come
also
back.
he's a good announcer as well.
He's a great announcer.
great.
So he's a good announcer. I
also
like
a
that.
great announcer, yes. Well spoken.
So
Son of God.
right, exactly.
SOG.
Now tweeter, what is it? Tweet?
Yeah,
I can't
don't
forget who
tweet.
they are now. I
Don't
forgot
use-
them.
don't
Because
use
Son of God, they won't pick them up now.
Don't use Twitter for anything.
Can't use that name.
They're God haters.
I think they should ban them. I agree. All right, on a good
All right,
note.
fellas. Anything else? Any shout outs? I want to shout out Jesse Martinez for a speedy recovery. You just had your surgery yesterday.
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
Oh,
saw
yeah.
that.
Very good.
Hey, hopefully we see you soon, Jack.
Sending you positive vibes for a speedy recovery. We can't wait when you come back so you can get on this podcast as well.
That's right.
Looking forward to that.
Mago, baby.
Shout out to El Mago for sure. Anybody else? Anybody
I'm good.
going once, going twice? Boxing Club Podcast.
Peace out, guys.
Hasta.